All right, guys, here we go with topic number 4. John holding up his lager. It's the Yingling lager. And I think there's something different. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, our fourth topic, guys. We're
Good to
now,
have you.
again, we're in the Two Noobs tournament. It's our fourth region of our grand Two Noobs tournament. Best Philadelphia athlete, of course. And this one will focus on the Philadelphia 76ers. So we're getting closer and closer towards the end, of course. But as we've done before in the past, just a quick recap of how this tournament came about. We ranked every Philadelphia major sports team, their top 16 players from 1983 onwards. So anyone that John, Steve, or I have watched either in person or on television, either they produced in the field, uh, in terms of multiple All-Star appearances, championships won, any MVPs they might have won, things along those lines. And then, of course, their popularity, whether or not they're more popular in the city with us, things along those lines. That was ranked 1 to 16, and we're doing a tournament to get to this the best Philadelphia athlete. Going to flash up on the screen what we've got so far. Of course, we have Brian Dawkins, Mike Schmidt, and Eric Lindros already in the Elite Eight. And then that tournament, of course, is going to be done. We're hoping by episode 100. We'll have to see how that goes, but that's our hope in that regard. So now we're going into the Sixers for this one. Our first venture in the Philadelphia 76ers, guys. So
minimum 3 years.
Minimum 3 years, yes. Good way to call that out. Absolutely. So here we go, guys. What do you say we get started? Give it a shot here. So we're going to go with John on this one. And John, we're going to kick things off with the 14th seed Drew Holiday, and he's going up against the 3 seed Joel Embiid. JoJo or Drew?
Gee, I wonder where John's going with this
I
one.
wonder where John's going to go with this one.
Such a tough one. Hey, quick shout out to Drew Holiday. Great NBA career so far. I like watching that kid play. I really wish you were still here. I really like watching you play. You're funsies. Yeah, Joe.
JoJo.
It's a generational talent.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say other than he's just been. Gotta get past that second round, though.
With me, yeah, anybody who disagrees with me just of moving on from Drew Holiday has not watched him play. One second of basketball. Just in the playoffs, he made a shot falling down and hit with a face mask on while getting fouled. Shot it before his back hit the ground, and it went in. That's enough for me. That was the playoffs for me.
I've often said, and I think I'm right on this, that if they ever traded away Joel, like if the Sixers ever traded away Joel, they might as well pack up their bags and move the entire franchise at this point. I mean, because of what he's meant to the city and and everything.
Which is why that's why it's funny that some Miami Heat beat writer suggesting that Joel Embiid would be on the trading block to the Miami Heat for whatever the hell they were going to give us.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Really? I mean, come on.
He slightly is. They just had an article out that Maxi's untouchable. I wonder what Joel Embiid is.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like kryptonite to Superman. That kind of untouchable. All right, Steve. Well, here we go as we continue on with the first round. We've got. This is going to be an intriguing matchup here. The 7 seed is Hersey Hawkins, and you got the 10 seed Eric Snow. So it's Hersey against Eric.
Glad I got the layup there.
Yeah. The 7 v the 10. It's always tough, these 7-10 matchups here. What do you got? What are you thinking?
So I'm going to go outside the box here.
Oh.
And I'm going to decide this on one particular incident.
Oh, good.
Which has nothing to do with playing career.
Okay.
And that is Eric Snow falling asleep during a broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
As a color commentator.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
And for that reason, he's got to go. He was an interesting guy. I liked watching him play with Iverson. He had a funky shot.
Oh,
He
yeah.
really did.
Oh,
Yeah.
But he made it work during the 01 season, and I thought he did a commendable job as the point guard here.
Good distributor of the
I
basketball.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. But Hershey Hawkins was also a great player while he was here, although not experiencing much of the team success, but, so Hershey moves on.
Hersey
Nice.
moves on. Very cool. All right, and continuing along with you, you got the 15 seed Andrew Toney, the Boston Killer. I forget what his nickname was.
Boston Strangler.
Thank you, Boston Strangler, against the number 2 seed Julius, the Doctor Erving. What do you got?
I know. Just before anybody picks against or for.
Yeah.
I saw this tweet about Julius Erving that
Go for it.
blew my mind. I knew he was really, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But this tweet says that Julius Erving was an all-star in every single season of his career, both ABA and NBA.
Remarkable. Yeah.
When I saw that tweet, I was like, damn. Like, really? Like, the shitty rookie, in the NBA all the way up until the end of your career. You made an all-star game every single year?
Yeah. Yeah.
No
pressure. We're not forcing an answer out of Steve here, but yeah.
Not in the faux LeBron years where LeBron's just in because he's LeBron. Like, this was when they used to judge basketball players and put them in the All-Star game. This was way before the fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had to throw that out there just to make it complicated.
Steve, what do you got, man? I mean,
Andrew Toney's got to move on. It's just
He was the Boston Strangler.
Great nickname, and wish we had one of those now. But
yeah.
For all the reasons John just said, and Dr. J delivered us a title.
Yes.
Which no other Sixer has done
since. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's moving on up.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, and John, to close out the first round here, this is going to be another kind of interesting matchup here. Like I said, the 7-10 that Steve had. The 6th seed is Moses Malone. The 11th seed is Andre Iguodala. Moses or Andre?
I gotta go Moses.
Okay.
Man, if Iguodala was here his entire career, I would have to I love Andre Iguodala, but yeah, Moses had a bigger impact.
Interesting.
Love Andre Iguodala. Love his career.
Yeah.
Big fan of him.
Now Moses was kind of on the down. I don't want to say he was on the downside of his career because he wasn't. I mean, he delivered a championship alongside the good doctor.
Yeah, but it was at the end. He was at the end.
But he was at the end, no question.
At the end of his career, but he was the piece that kind of helped put him over the. So you got it. He's definitely an all-time Sixer because at the end of his career he comes in and one of the catalysts to help Dr. J kind of get over that hump.
We
all know is really hard in this city because we don't get many of these.
You just got to fight in tooth and nail to get a championship around here. Absolutely. All right, so I feel
for Iguodala.
Oh yeah,
me too.
Because he was put in a tough position here where he was sort of labeled as AI's replacement.
Yeah, and he was not.
And that really was not his skill set or role. He fit in perfectly with the Warriors.
Yep.
Yeah.
For their title runs because he did what he was good at.
Wingspan, great defensive player, big wingspan, could get in the middle.
Had the prettiest foul shot you could. I mean, it was a boom right in every time.
He made those two to beat the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
That 2012 series.
Yeah.
But he was not and never was going to be the number one star on a team like people were expecting him to be here.
Why do you think that was, real quick, guys? Why do you think that?
Starved for championships when you see a guy that can play a little bit, especially with his jumping ability with AI, being a great basketball player and being able. We saw some of the best of Allen Iverson when he played with Iguodala of his ability to pass more so that we were used to in the previous years of he had nobody on the team, so all he did was shoot. We got to see a little bit different change of kind of guard, and it was a good young player. Same thing with what's his name, Lou Williams, when he played here.
Yeah.
That people thought that he's
The next.
gone on to be a great NBA player, but they wanted to tout him because we were starved for a championship. The Sixers sucked for so long.
Oh yeah, no question.
This was the
about that.
hardest bracket to put together for that reason, because we just have not, over the last 40 years,
Had
have
much.
a ton of great Sixer teams.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, guys, here we go. Second round, and John, it's to you. And we have Hershey, Hawkins, 7 seed, the Good Doctor, the 2.
Do I even need to speak?
I mean, it's the Doctor, right? I mean, come on. Yeah.
Every single year, he was an all-star.
You can't ask for anything greater than that. I mean, I remember. I mean, this is I think this was the '83 championship, the scoop slam. I mean, the tomahawk. I mean, it was just beautiful. It's a imprinted memory that you'll never forget. It was in the Spectrum, and it was just gorgeous. Rock the baby to sleep and slam dunk. I mean, you got Chick Heard on the call. It was great. It was awesome, and yeah, it was just amazing. Such an amazing, talented player. The Good Doctor was.
When I was really young. And when you're getting, I'm talking like young, when you're getting into that, like, sports is going on all the time, and you realize that dude plays for your team.
Yeah.
I remember that with like, kind of like looked at my dad, and I was like, he plays for our basketball team. I like him.
Yeah.
Like, I really like him. He's good. Like, when you're just like, there's formidable years where you're not, you don't know how all the sports work. I remember him just he was larger than life.
Yeah. Such a great player. Steve, for you, second round matchup, it's going to be Moses Malone, the 6 seed, JoJo, the 3.
Battle of the big men.
Battle of the big men. Absolutely.
John has already sent me threatening letters if I don't pick Embiid, so I'm going to.
Seriously, you're going to move on? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Embiid's ever since I saw his first game, he's one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen. Just
it's ridiculous.
The things he can do at his size is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
I'll tell you a quick Embiid story.
Go for it.
When I met my wife, we were dating. There was a time we were gonna just hang in and make dinner. I was like, mind if I put the Sixers game on? I want to watch. This was when they were, when he first started.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a sports fan, but she's not like I know everybody on the team. But when Bryce Harper hits a home run, she's like, damn. When she saw Joel Embiid play for the first time, she was like, who is he? I'm like, that's Joel Embiid. He's the center of the Sixers. She's like, man, he's good.
Yeah.
And that was when he was a baby and he could barely like get it. We called him, me and her used to call him the baby giraffe.
Yeah.
He used to fall all over the place. He was so big. And so, but everybody knows Joel Embiid is that good.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Here's my Joel Embiid story with my wife seeing him for the first time, which was, I think it was a preseason game I put on. And her comment was, that guy's so much bigger than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah. It is true.
He's so big.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, and just his athleticism. Guys, to be honest with you, this is going to be one of the hardest of all the ones we've done before. The 3 we did before were pretty much cakewalks. This is going to be really hard to come out of this. The PCOM region, I should have mentioned it's at the top, the PCOM region of the back Sixers bracket. Who is it going to be between Joel Embiid, the 3 seed, against the Doctor, Julius Erving, the 2 seed? So this is going to be really hard out of the both of them. And I mean, we're going to have to think about this one for a while. I don't know if it's going to be for a while, but it's going to be interesting to see who it is as I make my choice.
I have my reasons.
Okay. Okay, there's already going to be some interesting chats, so this is going to be really, really interesting. This is not a cakewalk. This is not a cakewalk.
Not by any means.
Not by any means. Okay, so in our first split decision, 2-1, the Doctor will move on and be the PCOM champion. Yeah. Steve, of course, the lone dissenter with Joel Embiid, which I don't think John and I could disagree at all.
No, I was.
You
I
just
was,
did disagree. What are you
I
talking
know.
about?
It's we're trying to,
I was.
This is hard, really difficult. So I think what we ought to do is kind of talk about why we chose the Doctor over Joe.
I really wish these two wouldn't have been in the same bracket.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wrong answer here. You have a generational talent that won us a championship. You have a generational talent that's going to win us a championship.
And I think that's the difference.
And I said this when we were first doing this. This Sixers bracket would be the easiest bracket in the entire world if Joe had run off 3 titles already. If Joe had reached his potential that we think he's going to reach. Let's say if he's reached his potential where he's going to win a couple chips, right? And then we're looking at a very young kid still, and we're putting him up at probably the greatest Sixer.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah. That's why I went Doc. When his potential, if we do this in 5-6 years, I don't know if Joe gets stopped. Because what we think he's going to do, he's still a baby cub, still learning. He's still growing.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, exactly.
Not as good as he can be.
It was difficult for me because I look at Embiid and I totally agree with you, John. The potential, and you're seeing it now. What he's doing on the court now is unbelievable. He's the easiest, the best Sixer in the last 20 years. What made it for me over the top was I grew up with the Doctor, and I saw things that, like, we had our own Jordan in our back pocket. When I look back on that, it's like the talent that he possessed, where he could run, dunk, shoot the basketball. It really comes down to that. And where I see JoJo, it's like the second round. He has not gotten to the conference finals yet. Until he does, that's when I will put him higher than the Doctor at this time in recording. I want to make that very clear on that.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. When he reaches his full potential, and I think he's going to, when he reaches his full potential, this tournament will be all about Joe.
Yeah.
Like, if we were ever to do it again, it would be very simple to get Joel Embiid, as the final.
So now I'm going to go to Steve. Steve, you voted for, of course, Embiid over the Doctor. Reasons why you did that? Just curious.
Because I don't like your guys' faces. That's
well, I know that, but other than that,
no. I had. My reason is this, and to respond to the second round. I think we had an Australian holding us back. Attributed to some of that.
A little bit.
Tiny bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Just a little bit. What I looked at was mainly, Embiid's been here for a number of years now, and he's played at an MVP level this year. Should have been MVP.
Should have been MVP. Yeah.
He was MVP level last year, but even more so this year. Was the leading scorer in the league this past year.
Yeah.
By a fairly decent margin.
Oh yeah.
And based on the qualifications of our tournament, we are looking at 1983 on. And when you look at Doc's career in that time frame, he was at the end, and it was the last couple years, and he was not the same player he was before that.
Love it.
And so for that reason, just based on the timing of our tournament, I said, you know what, Embiid's been better over his time in Philadelphia than Doc was in those several last years of his career.
Which is fair.
Absolutely fair. Yeah. So we hope that kind of gives our rationale and thinking of that. It's interesting because John and I are both on the same page when it comes to championships, but Steve brings up a great point. 83 onwards. You have to remember, Steve back then was, what, 2, 3? where I was
But he
7,
got-
8, 9. So it was like I kind of knew a little bit more about the doctor, had more memories of him. Yeah,
Doc helped us to a championship in '83, correct?
correct.
He didn't win it.
Yeah.
We were
He
there.
did. No, I'm not discounting that, but you know,
I just
over
I didn't want it to just go unsaid. Like Doc did in his career in this time frame. Was
Yes.
playing on a championship team.
Yep.
yes, absolutely. But remember, it's also we said you gotta have 3 years
Oh,
of service
absolutely.
or more,
Great.
and the bulk of those years.
You could probably
seeing
ask me
Embiid.
in 2 hours and I would change my mind.
Yeah.
Like it's what I'm feeling right now, especially like multiple All-Star.
Yeah.
Every. So that means in his shitty years he was an All-Star.
Yeah. So again, it kind of goes back to what we were saying before. If you picked Embiid, good on you. If you picked Doc, good on you too. You know, no wrong answers here at all. But for now, we're going to flash up the bracket here, and as you can see, Doc now joins Eric Lindros, Mike Schmidt, Brian Dawkins. Pretty good list, guys, of the 4 that are moving on to the Elite 8. The next tournament, we're going to fill out the remaining part of the Eagles bracket to see who will face Brian Dawkins in the Elite 8. And we got some very interesting players there for the Eagles, but more to come on that later.